This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Megas, and Week 12 of Fantasy Football, the report for this week. Gonna be an interesting upcoming Week 13 because this is Thanksgiving week. We got 3 games on Thursday. After this week, we should be starting the Saturday run, so everybody's going to have to do a better job of managing their rosters. My game this week is an example of what happens when you don't manage your roster. Too much greatness could have beat my ass, but he didn't manage his roster. He had Eli starting. All he had to do was put in Mariota. That was, 18 points right there. He didn't change his tight end. All he had to do was just put in Thomas from Jacksonville. That's 26 points, right there. And he also didn't go through his running backs. So had he, decided to start, Bernard for the Bengals instead of leaving in Matthews, who hasn't been getting that many reps lately because they've been trying to give DeMarco more of a steady feed. That was it right there. All he had to do was just start him. If he would have started, honestly, if he would have just started 2 people, if he would have switched off his quarterback and put in a different running back, I would have lost. Plain and simple. I would have probably lost. Well, no, I would have come closer to losing. So he did have to switch to another player. He would have had to put in a tight end as well. But yeah, 3 players then away. No, actually, yeah, 3 out of 4 positions he could have done something. If he would have just replaced the people for his bye week. Because Manning was out, Barnage was out, and the Giants defense were all on byes. So all he had to do was just substitute the Giants for the Cardinals. 5. Mariota in, that's 18, that's 23, and then Thomas would have gave him another 9 points. That would have been roughly 32 points, and he would have beat me by 0.12 points. Just that simple. Manage your rosters, people. I'm telling you, manage your rosters. He could have won that, and he would have been in a good place because he would have been 5-6, and so would I, and we would be tied for that run to the playoffs. So, just a small tip, people: manage your rosters. Speaking of which, going over famous stars. Yo, you hit me up last night and was like you were scared, and I was like, yo, you got Tom Brady. All he had to do was just throw another touchdown. Well, he threw an interception, but he didn't even have to throw a touchdown because when I further investigated famous stars record, I realized he had 3 players in the game. So it was like, okay, so you just needed Brandon LaFell to possibly get a catch, or Williams for the Bills to maybe get a run, and he got that. And he ended up winning by 18 points because his opponent, Houday, all their players were out. They'd all played on Sunday, so pretty much the game was famous stars to lose, and he barely won it. But the famous stars is still going strong at 10-1. Death Race of Fajita is getting pretty thumped lately. They're getting pretty beat lately. They were at the top, cream of the crop with famous stars. Now they've taken the slide back. Pretty sure that Savages are happy about that. That helps them establish themselves more. Brick Squad won over Blasphemies. Ill Wills, they lose to Savages. So overall standings, and it's pretty bad, people. Pretty bad. Let me click here. So Savages now has a 2-game lead over Death Race of Fajita. Death Race of Fajita pretty much is at a holding on point because I'm making a run for them. I'm only a game behind them, so I could possibly slide in for that 3rd place finish in the whole league, which is crazy, which is fucking crazy. Cause I'm on a 3-game winning streak. But Savages, they have the Alpha division as far as division championships go. Famous Stars, they're still well ahead. It would take almost an act of God at this point to see them get supplanted as the number 1 seed overall. They're not gonna. None of us can catch them in the division. That's just nah. It can't happen mathematically. They could lose all their games and they still win the division. So there's no way that's gonna happen because there's only 14 games in a fantasy league season. So they have the upper hand in that. Brick Squad has come through with a couple of straight wins. And Kelly Jerome finally got a win. Blasphemies, Lord help you. Gosh, I hate to see them do a Detroit Lions, but it's looking close to being that way, people. It really is. But and that pretty much rounds out things because everybody else is on a losing streak. Death Race of Fajitas lost 2. Ill Wills have lost 2. Houday, they should have won, but they lost. And Too Much Greatness is on a 3-game losing streak as well. So right now, the teams, with the exception of Death Race of Fajita, teams near or at the top, they're getting white hot right now, and that's not good for anybody else trying to make that run because those teams stay white hot. Even if you're able to slide in the 5th or 6th spot, you might not want to face one of those teams because their rosters have players that are actually putting up some really good stats. I was very surprised at some of the stats that my players put up. Not surprised at the running back stats, of course, because fuck, no Redskins running back will ever do well as long as Jay Gruden is the coach. It's funny too because I'm trying to think, how well did the Bengals running backs do when he was offensive coordinator? They seem to be doing pretty damn good lately. Anyway, it's food for thought. Had to throw that shout out there, because fuck Jay Gruden. But anyway, as always, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.